Well, Jim, we got a packed house for you tonight. It's great to see everyone, and for those of you who know Jim, I'm sure you all have very special memories of being around Jim or being with Jim. And as I thought about this today, I thought about my special memories. And so the first thing that comes to mind when I think of Jim, I have to go back to Atlanta, back to the Super Show. And for those of you that used to, we would go, and a lot of the media and various retailers, we would go to these product launches. And so you would go to this meeting room, and there you would have John Embry and Rick Kirksack and Jeff Karp. They would sort of be the undercard. They would be the warm-up act, and then Jim would start, and it would be the main event. And it would take about 5 minutes, and he would be working up, and about 10 minutes, and then about 15 minutes, he was at full Jim. And I mean, just sort of, honest to God, you thought Wilson was going to go out and save the world. I am here to tell you, Billy Graham would sit back and be mesmerized at what you could do there. It was really special to see. The other thing, the memory that I have of Jim is, I've known Jim for over 25 years, and I'm in the media, so needless to say, I've been on Jim's bad side periodically, or once in a while, okay. But so you could always tell when you were about to have a little confrontation with Jim, because you'd be sitting there and talking, and his face would get red. And then if you were in trouble, it got even redder. It got really bright red. And then if it was really bad, this vein would pop out. You know what I'm talking about. But Jim poked us, he pushed us, and he prodded us to go further, to go faster, and to try harder, both individually and collectively, than any of us would have done on our own. Jim, because of you, we are better, both personally and as an industry. And we owe you a huge debt of gratitude for that. It's celebrate an honor that is long overdue.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you for whoever put that together. And, you know, Jeff, you had about 4 people stand up, but it's the entire room, like it did stand up. We were all working together. And yeah, I had a lot of times where my forehead got really red. With a lot of people, Bill Simon came up here. We ripped each other many, many times. And a lot of people, Cliff Price and I were talking about the number of times we battled. And you know what? There's an old phrase that, you know, if you have a family that doesn't have a few fights, it probably needs a psychiatrist. And it's true, because, you know, anybody's got in this industry that cares about it, and we cared about it. All of us did. But we worked through that, and we were teammates. And I look at what's going on here. It's like the ultimate homecoming, because, yeah, I ran Wilson Sporting Goods. Started a cause called Fit America for the entire sports industry to get the industry moving. And we got so many things I've done outside of tennis, but this is my family. And when you spend 25 years, 30 years in something and care about it, and develop so many friendships, because when I came back here, I saw Jim Fromuth. He ran across the street this morning and said hello to me. And it's like so gratifying, a guy like that, that's a hero in my mind, would run across to say hello to me. But this is really something special. You know, a lot of people ask me, and what I thought I'd spend my time here is, a lot of people ask me, well, how did you do what you did in your career? And I'm going to go through my career a little bit, retrace it. But, you know, the old phrase, and I use it like, and this is so true, and you'll hear it as I talk about this, I was at the right place at the right time with the right products in many ways, or inventors, but really came down to the right people. and people that are in this room, and I wouldn't have been there. And it really started way back. People may not, a lot of people in here will remember a guy or know a guy by the name of Marty Devlin. Marty Devlin, he got me my first job when I was at college as a physical education teacher. I made $2,000 the first year. So if you think about it, if you don't make money right away, don't worry about it. I made $2,000 the first year, $2,250 the second year. They gave me recess, by the way, in the second year. To teach physical education, the first through eighth graders. But through that connection, I ended up having to work at Herman's Brooks Sporting Goods store, ran into the Converse rep. So here we go, Marty, to a Converse rep, and he introduced me to his boss, and I went to work for Converse. We invested. Our industry gave 0.5% of sales for 4 straight years to grow the game. It wasn't the USTA. And a lot of people look to the USTA as the god. Sorry, Dave. But they're not. The TIA has so much power, but you're going to have to invest. You know what that meant to Wilson? That was $600,000 a year we took out of our bottom line when we were struggling as an industry overall to invest in the game. And my competitors at Penn, Head, Prince, Dunlop, and others all did the same thing. And we invested it within the TIA. And then, and this is the magic, by us leading through tennis welcome centers and cardio tennis and other things like that, when we did that, there were 3 people, including myself, that had the guts to stand up to the big daddy, and I'm talking about the USTA, that does intimidate a lot of people. But Alan Schwartz and Kurt Camperman and I got together about 12 years ago and say, listen, it's one thing for the TIA to do this, but we got to do this with the USTA also. And we went in there and we got on the board. Kurt and I got on the board. Alan was on the board, and we frightened the board in many ways. We frightened the USTA. In fact, the big turning point is that, you talk about conflict of interest, and I'm going to talk about this, by the way, this New York Times article. It's ridiculous what they said in the New York Times. But I was representing Wilson Sporting Goods. I had the official ball of the U.S. Open. And normal person say, well, you're going to piss off the USTA? I went in there and I just basically said, all you care about is the U.S. Open. And that board at that time really was focused on the U.S. Open. And what we did is we showed them all the numbers. He said, look at your fandom. Look at what's going on with your revenue. That's all you care about. But look at ball sales. Look at racket sales. And ball sales, if they're going down, that's participation. That woke them up. And you know what? They turned it around. So we challenged the USTA. Dave talked about it. We challenged them, and they rose to the occasion. And we got involved. It's not just a matter of making your voice turn and think they're going to do something. You got to get involved. But I thank Kurt, I thank Alan for taking that lead. They're phenomenal leaders that we got it done overall. If you don't have it, try to look for something in your life that can give you that passion. If you don't have it, get out of it. Now, I talked about leaving Prince. I left Wilson for the same thing. I had a bunch of people in Finland that wanted to tell me how to run the business and wanted this month, these numbers this quarter at the expense of the brand. I said, time out, I'm done, I'm out of here. I didn't have another job. Risky, but I did the right thing for me and for my overall conscience. So find the passion. Work like crazy. You know what? I hate to say this country in many ways I think has gotten a little soft. But we all got to work hard if we're going to get ahead. The people think I'm nuts because they see emails from me at 4 o'clock in the morning still. I work tirelessly on my calls, with my companies I work with overall. Everybody's got to work like crazy. And it falls into another thing. Returning emails and calls. It's not a real good strength that I can see overall in corporate America today. I see it when I send it to people. It's just discourteous. If anybody ever sent an email or wrote to me and I didn't respond, I want to talk to them today because I apologize. Everybody should be talking to everybody and communicating and giving them respect. Don't use email. I get too many emails. That's BS. Get up earlier and get it done. You can do it. We all can do it. Thank you very much and appreciate you being here.